my followers, people who subscribe to me on YouTube, random people interested, and random people who've just found this video. Jimmy here. I am going to be walking you through the Jimmy Saber Junk Saberbay Survivor Hilt. This is one of my favourite hilt designs ever. I love the game, but I equally love the design of the Saber just as much. So, let's start off with the basics. The box. Now, anybody will tell you, anybody who knows me will tell you, I am not a fan of boxes, usually. Usually when I get a box for a hilt, I throw it away. Especially if it's boring. I have no intention of selling stuff that I get. So I know I'm going to keep it, and I keep my stuff generally stored rather safely. So I do not tend to keep boxes. However, when Christian Cruz designed this box for Shane at the Saberbay for this hilt, I fell in love. I am now completely won over to keep boxes now. He did such an amazing job. He looked at the original concept art for the posters and pulled off this fantastic box. If you want to know what that says, start translating. Both ends just have, I don't know, there's not much room. The survivor at one end, the survivor at the other, and other way around, hopefully, I think. Just got both of our logos on the back. And then we've got a nice clean box with a nice background on it. Absolutely amazing. And everything Christian Cruz has done for us since then, box design wise, has been absolutely amazing. His current design for the turn on the box, and even the straight talker, which is the yaddle, is amazing. So I am really into boxes now. How well he presents our products, my designs, is amazing. Big fan. So I'm keeping all those boxes now. So I've got a few of these hilts already. I started off with two. I got a third one for the sake of having the Fallen Order pommel. And then I've got another one coming, which is being weathered by Austin at Asteria Workshop. That wasn't a fan of weathering at all by any means. I always have my hilts clean. I may have tried attempted weathering once or twice, without great success. You know what? If somebody does it better, I'm willing to pay them to do it, and he has done a cracking job. So I'm really looking forward to seeing his weathered version of my hilt. Well, he's already showed it off once. I'm looking forward to receiving it. Right, out of the way, these come clean. If you want them weathered, I recommend Austin at Asteria Workshop. Equally, Nerf Herder Customs, Benji, he did a really nice review on the Survivor, comparing it to the 89 Sabers versions, and he did a great weathering job too. There's plenty of great weatherers out there, but there's a couple who do it really well. And those two names there do cracking jobs. So, speaking of the 89 Sabers Fallen V2 is, if you know my history, is kind of what I was known for in terms of my chassis design, and which I've tried to keep the design for this in some respects. But if you know where I started from, the V2 is where I started on my little Etsy store. And then it grew and grew and grew, and here we are, I'm designing hilts and chassis now. So, let's get into what comes in the box. Basically, you'll get this in the box if you order the standard Survivor. Yours will be completely empty. And so I'm going to run you through how to fully assemble, and you'll be able to see how the little bits come apart as well at the same time. So hopefully it clarifies any issues or any questions you may have. Right, so let's get this underway. This shroud here, which is your 1-inch blade, grab a short stubby tester, which usually just goes down like so. These came faulty from the factory. We spotted it. They had done the tolerances incorrectly on the shrouds. So it can be simply resolved with a bit of tape, but equally, I'm not going to be able to get this one back up now. A bit tight. Equally, you could have got the corrected versions, which I'm sure Shane has organised. But if you got one that you weren't too worried about having a corrected one, it's resolvable with a bit of tape. It's the simplest thing in the world. So you just put a strip down here. If you've got a bit of wobble from the shrouds, and then assemble it, and you might find that it completely eliminates the wobble and the rattle. Not that there's much of a rattle once you tighten this ring down at the top. So, grab your emitter. It's got a copper adjustable clocking collar on it, which has got a tiny O-ring inside of there. You need to keep that O-ring in there. It's part of my very unique thread locking mechanism that doesn't require any actual Loctite or thread lock. So slide that down there, making sure you line up the hole in the shroud to the threaded hole in the emitter. Then what I do to make sure it doesn't rotate, so grab this, just put that grub screw through a little bit, the blade retention screw, to make sure this doesn't come freely out now. Voila. While we're here, before I go any further with the assembly of the shrouds, the fins, whatever you call them, I'm going to put the emitter onto the main body. So it's a very fine thread, you just have to be very careful as you do it. Find that thread, don't try and force it. There we go. Now the idea of this being detached from here, there's two reasons behind it. First reason, fully intentional of course, naturally, is that it makes it a lot easier for anybody to weather it. Second reason is that you can then clock it if you want the blade retention facing the same direction as the button for some reason, or you can clock it the other way so you can't see it at all. Entirely up to you. There is actually a third reason, and I'll tell you about it now. And I'm very honest about these kind of things because this is a very limited run. Shane and I didn't get too many of these made. And so being able to have these machined separately reduces the cost of manufacture as well. So when you have a very limited run like this, we got 100 made, and then so if you compare it to our 89 Sabers, who gets so many more made, you know, we're talking like TXQ, LGT levels of quantities. Obviously, when you have a limited run made, the cost is much more than if you're producing 1,000 Hilts. So, to keep those production costs down, being able to have them separate, to be made at separate times, is a big plus. So you just have to keep on adjusting it until you get in the position where you're happy. I'm almost there. A bit too far. Voila, look at that. So you just keep on adjusting the collar as that's threaded onto the neck, and until you get the right sweet spot when you lock it all down. And then once you've locked that all down, it's not by any means easy to undo it. If you put enough grip into it, enough force into it and turn it, you'll get it undone, but it's not going to come loose when you swing it around by any means whatsoever, and you're not going to accidentally undo it. So that's something for, if you get yours installed or weathered, that's something to bear in mind. So now we've got that sorted, I have got my chassis here. Stay. Oh, actually, forgive me. I forgot to mention, in the box you'll have 6 silver grub screws. I've threaded mine in just a little bit, just to make sure they don't protrude into the internal diameter. You don't want them to do that just yet. They are to lock down the sleeve once you get it in position. You have also got your blade retention screw up here, and you've got 4 grub screw positions on the emitter. Those are for locking down your chassis into position. So what I like to do is, this will either go extremely well or extremely badly. I use gravity, so I've fully installed this. I've got my stock MPXL switch PCB pin side installed on the bottom here. I've got the stock thin neck pin side PCB in here, and I've got my 1.5mm tactile switch here. Cool. What I do is, got my internal locking sleeve that has my sound vents in it. Put that on there. Now I kind of have to use gravity to help me, so you might be going, what on earth he's doing? I'm lowering the body onto the sleeve very carefully. I'm having to take this off camera so I can see what I'm doing. You will go in, I promise you. Or not. You will just be a real pain. Let's try the other way. Okay, got somewhere. It's pretty good. Why are you being embarrassing for me when I'm recording? I'm this far in. Let's try that again. Have I got some screws interfering? I do not believe I have. Take your time, get it right. There we go. I'm getting somewhere now. So there we go. Right. Whew. I was a bit worried there that I'd messed up, but I hadn't. Just take your time, get it right. Can you hear that? I've got some nice switch actuation there. So I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to drop my PCB holder, Emitter PCB holder that's got the flat side of the thin neck stock PCBs there. Drop that in down the emitter. Get it all the way down so it locates down the hole. And guys, this is the setup that you have to do once. This isn't a repeating setup. You do this once. Those are the kind of things I like. So, with that in place, I'm going to lock down. And by the way, if I undo this, I can feel the internal pins of the thin neck PCBs. I can feel the spring pressure in there. So I'm very happy with that. So I am going to lock down, as I'm gently pushing down the emitter PCB, lock down the PCB holder by doing the top 2 grub screws on either side of the emitter, like so. So now the emitter piece is not going anywhere. Anything that's loose now is my lower part of the chassis. So I think I've got it in a position that I really, really like. So, oh, and by the way, I know this is my chassis design, but I'd really, really like to see some really fantastic attempts of other people to do their own chassis as well. As much as I love my own designs, you know what's more interesting? Seeing people design chassis to go on my Hilt. Absolutely phenomenal. I know Benji said he was going to give it a go. I look forward to seeing what he comes up with. And I'm not going super tight, but I'm making sure it can't rotate on you because this is the twist and click chassis version. So as you put the chassis in, you turn it, and you don't want to be turning the fixed half as well. So I've got that locked down. I'm going to grab a chassis, a short chassis I've already installed with a Golden Harvest V3, 22mm speaker here, really loud speakers, just because they're small, what is it Yoda says? Size matters not, which is useful for most men out there. So, plug that in, twist and click, turn it on. I am really happy with that. Maybe I haven't got twist off yet. Got twist on though. Right, take that off. And there we have it. So we've installed our fixed stationary part of the chassis. It's in there. We've tested it. We're very happy with that. This is still free to rotate and drop out if you haven't got it tightened in all the way, which we'll come to in a moment. But for now, let's get our fins in place. So all you do, there was those two flats I was discussing before. Grab your fin and slide it in. As I said, if you find you're getting excessive wobble and you've got the the incorrect sleeve for the inside of the emitter, bit of tape, that's all you need. And then this is a bit fiddly, but again it's a one-time setup deal. Grab your ring, place it down the emitter, and then turn until your threads grab. I thought I had it then, I was going to be cocky about it, but never mind. Turn until you feel the threads engage. Don't try and force it, guys. Use the force, but do not use force. I'm struggling for some reason. It's because I'm on video, that's why. That's right, I blame you guys. There we go. See? Caught it. Turn. It's very fine threads, so just keep them turning by hand until you start to feel it go taut. Which you can only do small turns at a time, and when it goes taut, just try and, just with your fingers, turn it, and then, if I do that again, a little bit more. Emitters, and so I didn't apply any tape, that was an incorrect shroud as well, and so they are in place. What I'd like to do is push those down again, and then turn it a little bit more if I can help it. And then nothing. All I'm hearing is a little clang of grab screws loose in their pockets. But my shrouds are down. There's a little bit of movement, but they're not clanging around. So even if you've got the incorrect one and you don't use tape, if you've got that down tight enough, they don't clang around and they barely move. Okay, so I've got a little bit of movement on that one. I might take that sentence back. But yeah, I'm going to put some tape down there later. But it's not exactly rattling around whilst you're moving the Saber around. Pretty awesome. Cool. So, in the box, you'll get these two accent pieces, which come pre-detailed. They have got some holes in them as well for shoving some wires into. If you are like me and not very good at weathering, or equally not willing to give it a go, and you just want to keep your Saber clean, the idea of having these pre-detailed is so that you don't have to worry too much. It's going to look cool no matter what when you put them in there. And guys, don't use glue. I wonder if I've got some here. Some double-sided 3M tape. Get the thin version. It's not very thick at all. That's what I use. I snip a bit off, put it on the back, peel off the other side, put it in there. Also means you can pull them back off again. So I'm not going to do that now, because I'm already taking too long. And then, so now it's clocking time. So you could put your Survivor pommel onto your grip, your clean grip, if this is the setup you've got, thread that in and then clock it to whatever position you want to and lock down the grub screws. However, I am not doing that today, as I've already got 2 of the Survivor pommels set up. I'm going to be doing the Fallen Order pommel. So, a little bit of a story. I was doing this last night, doing this entire video. I got to about this stage, and little did I realise that after I'd done a whole walkthrough on this pommel detail and how you attach it to the threaded sleeve, my battery ran out of my phone, so I had to stop recording. Lo and behold, I'd already glued this in position, so it's a kind of a bit of a bummer. But I will say Shane's video, so Saberbay's video on how to assemble this, pay attention. You do want to, so pretend I haven't got the actual plastic pommel detail attached to the sleeve, the metal sleeve that threads into the bottom of here. What you'll do, thread that sleeve in, get it tight, finger tight, and then mark on where you want a specific detail of here to line up on the metal sleeve, and then put a bit of tape on the plastic parts, unthread your metal sleeve, put a dab of glue near the base, around here, just away from the threads though guys, do not get glue in your threads. If you do that, try and get it off as quick as possible and as clean as possible, otherwise you're just going to ruin your threads. So when you've done that, and you've put a dab of glue down there, you've got your alignment, you've got your bit of tape on the plastic bit, you've got your Sharpie marker pen on the metal sleeve, and you've aligned it up, all you do, put your sleeve down, put your plastic parts over the top, and get the alignment and push down, and you'll hear a sudden clap, and then it clicks into place, and then leave that to set on the side. Make sure you leave it set, because if you snap this on, right, if you snap on the plastic part before you know, onto the sleeve and then put it on, guess what, the plastic sleeve is just going to rotate. So you're not going to have much luck trying to thread into the thread on inside the sleeve. So have a bit of patience, have a bit of a think about it. Mistakes do happen. I hope they don't happen to you, but the idea of it is, so when they machine threads like this, they will naturally orientate when they're done up to a specific position. The reason it's done like this is so you can orientate this detail to the sleeve to make sure you get the look that you're after, the position you want, not so it's fixed in one direction and you're not going to be happy about it if you're going for accuracy, especially if you've seen the amount of detail in this piece. Look at that. So many people going, why is it plastic? It's plastic for a very good bloody reason. You want to capture all of that lovely detail in there? Good luck paying for it to be machined into aluminium or steel, because, or any metal really. It's going to be very, very expensive. The great thing is, you can weather this to look like it's metal, which you're going to weather the whole bottom end, aren't you? Really, if you want to make it look realistic, you're going to splay these out, add some more battle damage, add some paint, make this look more metallic and rusty and what have you, which you're not going to get straight out of the box, are you? That'd be a bit silly, a bit expensive as well. So yeah, you can make this look realistic as possible. Equally, visually, can you tell? It looks amazing. You're not going to get that detail anywhere else. That small detail. And people are also concerned that, oh, it's multi-jet fusion plastic, it's PA12. If exposed to the sunlight, does it degrade? No, it doesn't. Equally, if you are weathering it as well, you'll be adding some coats to it as well to prevent anything from from naturally damaging it. But the sunlight does not damage it. Is it strong? I've got another one here, which is the test piece that I got printed. I've got a couple of them. For when I was designing the Saber, to make sure they're strong. This is the same material as this, and I really hurt my hands yesterday in the middle of filming whilst my camera wasn't actually recording because my phone ran out of battery. I cannot, you can see I'm deflecting that. Oh, I can't break it. And guys, you don't hold the hilt by this part. Don't be silly. If anybody thinks you're going to break it, you're breaking it out of your own stupidity more than anything. And I'm trying to break it. I physically can't. It's so tough. Oh. So, this step here, you might be able to see a tiny step on the inside diameter. Yeah? So the plastic gets a lot thicker straight away where that aluminium bush ends. Suddenly the plastic gets a lot thicker. So it's super tough, super rigid. You cannot break it. See, I'm trying. You see it's damaging my hand. And I've even got a resin one I printed in my resin printer in my garage. It's not expensive resin either. I can't break it. If you break it, you are far more special than I am. Guys, if you break it, there's replacements on my Saberbay store, but you will have to buy them. If you break it, it's your own fault. These are extremely robust. Equally, whilst they're on my Saberbay store, you can have a go at weathering different ones. To get the points that you want, you can try multiple times. They're there if you need them. If you get it right first time, job done. Or if you accidentally skip Shane's part about adding the damp glue before you click this on to get the orientation correct, the only way you're going to really get it off with ease is by melting it off with a soldering iron, very carefully, avoiding getting any damage into your grip, into your thread, sorry, by just melting it off and ordering a new one. That's how it's going to be. I can't help you if you do it wrong. Okay? But as I say, extremely robust. Oh, my thumb is actually clicking like mad trying to do this. So I can't do it. I can't break it. You get 6 brass rods in a baggie with the Fallen Order grip, which there are 6 positions if you want to use them. You can put wires in the holes as well. Bit of glue on the dab on the bottom, shove it in, and there you go. You can bend these as well, cut them down, do whatever you want to get the look that you desire. That's what we're going for here. You can achieve what you want out of it. You don't have to be dictated to. So, after damaging my hands are actually hurting a lot now. And I climb, or I've got an injured knee at the moment, but I usually climb, so my hands are usually pretty robust. It really hurt. So, thread that in there, like so. And thread that in there, like so. And then because I haven't done up this internal sleeve yet, I haven't done those grub screws up, if I go to about, say I want it in that position there, there we go, nice and tight. Really, you don't have to do all of these screws up, but I'm going to. The more you have, the more secure it is. And so, you should be able to unscrew this now without rotating, the sleeve inside. So that's pretty cool. Let's go over chassis. So we've got the short ones, which are great. inexpensive. You do have to remove them to get a battery in and out. Remove them from the hilt, sorry. So, just like that. Just like that. And then all you do, insert, twist, click, flick them on. There we go. So these are designed, if you've got 2 hilts and you want to make a staff, you can get 2 down there, no problem at all. And the speakers being up here with hidden sound vents up here is on purpose, because when you have 2 chassis that have speakers pointing at each other, you're distorting the sound, you're reducing your sound quality. Don't like that. If you're doing a single hilt setup and that's all you're going to do, come up with a chassis that uses a 28mm speaker. There's room in the grip to use one, and then you can get great sound venting wherever you wanted to. But I specifically designed this with the staff in mind. And equally, if you've been seeing my Instagram posts recently, there is a quick detach staff coupler coming, which is very exciting. Twist and click off. So with the crystal chamber chassis, same speaker, I've got a Bluetooth unit in mine, Profi board, removable 18650 gigapower battery. Look at this is one of my oldest batteries. It's kind of seen better days. Never mind. Got an OLED screen, OLED screen. Got a crystal in here at the back behind the screen, and equally you have got multiple additional chambers to twist and click into the chassis. So there's 2 twist and clicks involved in this entire build. One at the top to click it in, and then one at the bottom. So if I turn this on, bottom crystal glows, back crystal glows too, and then I can twist and click into position. So get a bit of a glow through bottom holes as well. You might not be able to see it on camera, but there's a bit of a glow coming through here. Well, you might have just seen a little bit up here. I am thinking of doing a more detailed version as well, if you want to go the non-replica route, having more holes in it down at the bottom to show off some more light, and that will eventually be up on my Shapeways store. But for intentions of trying to get this look just right and capture all the details, this is the one it comes with. It looks amazing. I am extraordinarily excited to get my weathered version from Austin. No pressure, Austin. I'm not in a rush. Take your time, mate. So, I've just placed those in. That looks awesome. So happy. So happy with how these hilts turned out. And a big thank you to Shane for saying my design was really good. If I do say so myself. He gave me a lot of, is that the right one? Just trying to remember, so that detaches, so I think it's this one. He trusted me throughout the entire process, and I hopefully haven't let him down on any level whatsoever. He's a good man. So, I can't remember which one of these is clocked with what. I have a feeling that one goes down there, like so. Let's remove this one. No, thank you. Turn that off. Twist and click off. Why did I need that one? Oh yeah, I needed the battery. there. You see how easy it is to get the batteries in and out, and I use 3500 milliamp batteries, so they're ever so slightly longer, but just by like a smidge of a millimetre. Technical term right there. So you know your battery compartment is capable of taking those lengths if you have those batteries. Equally, just takes the shorter ones too. Not the 18350s or anything like that, just as long as they're 18650s. So I'm hoping no, these aren't the clocked ones. So let's pretend that I clocked these properly. Must have been the other grip. That's really frustrating. I think that's going to mess with me if I don't get it right and show you. If I don't show you, I'm going to be very frustrated. So I've gone this far into the video, so don't know which one that came with. It doesn't matter. So I think it was this one. Which one was it attached to? Was it attached to that one or that one? Take a stab at it. Aha! The aligned versions. Right. Put them down. Put these down so I don't knock them over. So here we have the staff version of the hilt. It's not too long, it's the perfect size. It's got green one end, cyan the other. I haven't got twist off. Plaster works nicely. There we have it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. I like to ramble. I like to go through things as thoroughly as possible, but I am not perfect doing these videos. I am not somebody who does well at talking on these videos. I'm usually just best being left alone to design. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you grab one of these. I hope you grab two of them, because not only do they couple up together and make a great fixed staff, they also, the quick detach coupler coming soon. It's going to be awesome. And I hope you buy a third one so you can put the Survivor or the Fallen Order pommel on the bottom of it as well and display them. Getting ahead of myself, asking a lot of it. But guys, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for supporting Jimmy Saber Junk. Thank you for supporting Saberbay in this production run and all the other ones he's been doing with me. It's been great. And I'll see you in the next video.